Hello, my name is Branch, and I'm going out on a limb. Episode 3. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that rules his spirit than he that taketh a city. Living in the rural South has its pros and cons. It's a mix of good and bad things. A unique blend of up and downs. For instance, winters here are a breeze. It's a rare event for it to snow, and yeah, while it can get cold, it's never 20 feet of snowy chaos like in other places. Although that does mean on the freak occasion that it does snow, the whole town shuts down. You like nature? Well, glad you do, cause boy, we got plenty of it. Miles upon miles of trees make for fresh air and a beautiful view. In fact, you'll probably be surrounded by more trees than people. You'll have to get into a car and drive 20 miles out before you reach your first store. Yep, you'll have to drive if you want to get anywhere. Public transportation, outside of a school bus, is not a big thing in these rural areas. And unless you have friends or family that can drive you around, you are stranded. I earned my driver's license when I was 19, which is really late considering those 15 and 16-year-olds in my class who got their license as soon as they knew what the DMV stood for. So yeah, there are a lot of student drivers on the road, but that just makes you more sympathetic because everyone should remember how hard it was when you were first learning to drive. And it makes you more of a defensive driver because you remember how you were when you were first learning how to drive. People here are generally more laid back, and we take our time to do things. Before I hear you in the back going, "That's not how it is in my area." Okay, I understand, yes, this is a case-by-case thing, but like I said, generally more laid back. Which means traffic is generally not as high stakes as the Tokyo drifting city driving in more populated areas. My overall driving experience here has been rather positive. And of course, you're never really gonna get rid of the driver that's gonna flip you off or look at you with a disappointed scowl as if you're the one who is responsible for convincing Eve to eat from the knowledge of the tree of good and evil. But this, however, was a bliss that could never be sustained. No, my days drew near. My time was nigh. The moment of my impending doom had arisen like an ill-timed storm, yes! This was the time I'd finally experienced my first real moment of road rage. It started off as a normal grocery run with my sister. We were nearing our last stop and we had to make a right turn. Now, for this particular area, there are no stoplights, just one measly little stop sign and those painted arrows on the road. It was cloudy and it looked like it was going to rain. But this was our last stop, and we just needed to pick up ice cream. We were not gonna go home without ice cream. As I got closer to make my right turn, there was another car next to me. And I know what you're thinking. That must be the car that went crazy. But nope, it was just making a left turn. Traffic wasn't letting up on either side of the lanes. There was a median, but it really wasn't a median, and it was already hard enough to see, so we just waited until it was clear. I've made this turn about 100 times now, and I've literally never had a single person honk at me or get mad at me for taking a while to make this right turn, because it's hard to see. It is at this exact moment as I'm waiting, a lady pulls up behind me. Now, I'm still waiting, but my pressure meter is all the way up because I hate it when people are behind me when I'm trying to turn. I feel like I'm making them wait. But because nothing changed, I still couldn't make my turn, so I'm just waiting it out. That's when something catches my eye and I look into the rearview mirror. I can see this lady mouthing at me to go. I do my best impression of trying to point to her like, "Oh, I can't see, I'm sorry." I'm shrugging, I'm so sorry. I'm going like full on Egyptian hieroglyphic, like I cannot see, ma'am, I'm so sorry. Clearly not happy with my impression of what I think an Egyptian mime would be like. She looks away from me, fuming. This lady is clearly becoming extremely furious. I look at my sister and she looks at me and we give each other a "what in the world is this lady's problem" kind of look. She then starts to blare on her horn like it's her own personal siren. It is still not clear to turn. I start to panic, but like I said, I cannot see, so I can't move. My mom and dad taught me that if I can't see, even if people are honking at me, not to turn, because if I die in an accident, they will not be the ones at my funeral. But that doesn't really matter because at this point, I'm about to die. I'm feeling all kind of anxiety. My palms are sweating. My heart is beating so fast, I could have probably flew out the car. I don't know what this lady wanted me to do. "Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm clearly upsetting you by my attempts at making a safe turn. I will proceed to drive blindly into traffic for your convenience. So sorry. Then what this lady does next causes my heart to go even faster than I thought I could go. This lady gets out of her car! I quickly check to make sure all of my doors are locked. I am in flight or fight mode. I'm scared that this insane woman is going to fight me at this intersection, or worse. Thankfully, however, she just stays at the side of her car cursing me out. Now, I want all of you to know that there was another way for her to turn. There was no one behind her. She could have reversed and exited through the other way. She could have made a peaceful turn, and I could have made a peaceful turn, and then we could have both been on our merry ways. But nope! She begins to cuss and yell at me for trying to preserve my life and the life of my sister. She can't see the road. She's too far back to see if it is safe for me to turn. Finally, I see a clear in the road and I proceed to drive right. As soon as I made my turn, she peeled off right after me.
I got us safely back to our last destination, and my sister left to get our ice cream. I was trying to calm down. Now, I'm not so proud of the next part, but I didn't mean to curse, but I may have cursed her out in the car. Yes, I know, it's Christians, we're not supposed to curse, and we're supposed to have control over our anger, but at that moment, I couldn't control my anger any further than that. Once all of the rage had left my body, I just ended up crying. I didn't want to drive for a couple of weeks after that whole incident, but you know, I didn't have a choice. Things had to be done, so back on the road I was again. I could have chose to do many things in that car that day, and I really wanted to roll down my window and start yelling and fighting with her, but that wouldn't have solved anything. I still really don't like that lady. I really want her to reap what she sowed. But Christ calls us to love our enemies and bless the people that curse us. So, knowing all of that, I will pray for her, but I still seriously never want to meet you again. I hope I didn't drive you guys crazy. But seriously, please consider liking this channel and please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. I hope you all have a very blessed day. Goodbye!